There's three things you can control when you get up on that bodybuilding stage, and you better do all three of them or you haven't done your homework. One of them is conditioning. He brings that. Check box. Presentation. Check that box. He more than does that. And his coloring. Check that box. Those are three variables you have absolute control over. Urs mastered all three of those. I'm Dave Palumbo, founder of Species Nutrition. From my earliest bodybuilding days, I believed in only putting the best in my body. And that lives on in the Species Nutrition line of products. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. Dave Palumbo here with an RXMuscle news update. This just in, Urs Kalecinski wins his second pro show in 2 weeks. Once again, taking out an awesome Quint Area. This was a battle once again, 2 weeks in a row. First in Italy last week. Now Urs comes back here. I think he's better. He's not maybe as bigger and as full, but he's definitely sharper from behind. I think his back looks a lot better. Obviously, his back still needs some more muscle back there, but I think the detail was there today. If anything, you have to reward the guy because he does come back sharper here. The lighting is a little different, so the videos kind of don't really match up as well when you compare 1 week to the other. But there is a video online. I'll pull it up where you can see last week to this week. Urs, did his homework. He did not let up. He didn't take his foot off the gas, and he delivered another victory here. And that was significant because look, Quinton Area was trying to qualify for that Olympia, and I'm sure the judges wanted to see Quinton Area on that Olympia stage, so they were looking for a reason probably to give it to him. But Urs slammed that door shut. He brought in a better look this week. And if he wins last week and he comes back better this week, you can't take it away from the guy. Plus he's in his hometown. He's in Germany. He's got the fans were probably going insane there. I wish I was actually at that show because it's always great to go to shows in Germany that the fans are like the New York fans. They just go absolutely bonkers for bodybuilding. We can look at all the the pictures and all the videos and study it, but when you're there in that front row, it's a lot different. Urs has a level of graininess and conditioning that we expect to see from winners of pro shows, and he's delivering. And you know what? I got news for you. There's not that many guys in the top 10 of the Mr. Olympia that bring that level of graininess. So I think he's going to do really well come Olympia time in a few weeks. He might not have the size of some of these guys, but he absolutely has the presentation. He has the polish. I always tell you, there's three things you can control when you get up on that bodybuilding stage, and you better do all three of them or you haven't done your homework. One of them is conditioning. He brings that. Check box. Presentation. Check that box. He more than does that. And his coloring. Check that box. Those are three variables you have absolute control over. Urs mastered all three of those. Plus he brought in oodles more muscle from when he was in classic physique, and he won this show. Does that mean Quinton Area is not a better bodybuilder than Urs? No, it doesn't mean that because they're that close. And it's a shame, and I don't know what's going to happen with Quint. I hope he can make it somehow to the Olympia. I think this was the last qualifier, and so I would give the guy a special invite. I really think he belongs on that Olympia stage for sure. And he's an absolute top 10 guy, maybe even higher. So it'll be a shame if Quinton doesn't make it to the Olympia stage, but I got news for you. Urs Kalecinski did his homework and he brought it. I'm very impressed with him. Glutes, hamstrings, his adductors, his inner thighs could be a little bigger. And if they were bigger when he stands to the side, they would hang better. So he's got to work on adductors and he's got to work on his back. I think those two things he can bring up over the next year, he's going to be a very, very dangerous guy on that stage. And you'll see him winning some big shows next year for sure. This was, once again, the experiment paid off. He made the right decision moving to that open class. To knock out a guy like Quinton Area, you got to be very, very good. This guy might be the best second place guy we've seen all year. That's saying a lot. I don't give out compliments that easily, but he was that good. It was that close. And at the end of the day, the judges got to pick the best guy. It doesn't matter who the fans want. It doesn't matter if we want the guy at the Olympia or not. The best guy's got to win the show, and that's what they did. Good job on the judging. They picked out the right winner. At least what I can see from videos and the pictures online. Obviously, you know, sitting in that front row, it's a different viewpoint, but I think that if you look at the comparison between Urs from last week to this week, you can see the difference. And once again, forget the lighting and the coloring, because the stage lighting was completely different. But look at the level of crispness. Look at the level of detail in his back and the lower back area. Last week, he was like almost like too full from the back, on the back side, which made his quads look better and his arms look a little bigger. But the detail was there this week, and I think that that's the look he needs to bring to the Olympia stage. I think with his genetics and what, you know, and his youth and the trajectory that he's on, don't be surprised if he can put on another 2-3 pounds of muscle before he even gets to the Olympia in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised. He'll rebound off this show. He could grow. He really could, and we could see a bigger, just as hard Urs Kalecinski on that Olympia stage. A lot of people have been asking me, can he make the top, 5 or top 6 at the Olympia? I predict he's a solid top 10 guy, but he could make the top 6. It depends on what these other guys look like. He's obviously shown that he doesn't come into a competition out of shape. And I've seen guys miss their mark before, these other guys that are going to be in that top group. So if they're a little bit off, he can sneak in there. If they're not off, he's going to have a tough time, because we're talking about some heavy hitters with some big time muscle. Andrew Jack and Nick Walker. Obviously Sampson's up there, and Hottie and Derek, and there's a lot of, if Beirut gets there, there's a lot of super thick guys. Rubio Mascara. I mean, Urs is going to have an issue, and he's going to have some trouble with some of these guys on a size level. But conditioning, polish, and all that, he's got it in spades. Congratulations, huge victory once again. I also want to congratulate Andrea Shaw, who won the Rising Phoenix show. She lost last year, and then she buckled down for the Olympia. She won her 5th Olympia title last year. Well, she came back to redeem herself, and I don't blame her. There's a lot of prize money at this Rising Phoenix show. Jake Wood really takes good care of these women in Phoenix, and Andrea wins it. And she has a lot of momentum now going to the Olympia. I can't imagine anyone taking her out for that Olympia title, but there are people, waiting in the wings there. We'll have to see what happens at the Olympia, but congratulations, big win in the Rising Phoenix, and congratulations on all the prizes you won. All right, that's gonna take us to the end of this little RX Muscle News update. For the full contest report, we will have it on Heavy Muscle Radio. That's tomorrow, Monday. I think we're gonna do it about noon, 12:30. It'll be live. Check it out. For now, I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News update.